Hello, curious humans, and welcome back to the show where we talk about the ingredients that actually earn their place in your routine. You are listening to the AI avatar of Dr. Irina Lazuk, dermatologist, skin scientist, and the woman whose entire formulation philosophy is built around a plant that has been healing skin since long before the skincare industry existed to take credit for it. Dr. Lazuk is not with us today because she is currently somewhere in the highlands of Sri Lanka, having accepted an invitation to observe a botanical research initiative studying wild harvested Centella asiatica in its native growing environment. She arrived for a scheduled 3-day visit. She has been there for 8 days. The research team reports she arrived with focused curiosity and has since generated what they describe as an unreasonable enthusiasm for wound healing biomarkers in traditional plant prepara, tie-ins. She has also apparently reorganized their entire phytochemical analysis library by mechanism of action, which the team initially questioned and has since described as genuinely the correct way to have organized it. She has requested access to field samples from a second harvest site. They have complied. We have made our peace with the timeline. So, you have the avatar, and today we are talking about an ingredient that Dr. Lazuk has centered her entire cosmetic line around, and that deserves a more complete explanation than it usually receives. So, Centella asiatica, also known as gotu kola, also known as, in the circles where it has been used for centuries, simply the plant you reach for when skin needs to heal. Here is what most conversations about Centella get wrong. They describe it as a calming ingredient, a soothing ingredient, something gentle for sensitive skin. And while none of that is inaccurate, it dramatically undersells what this plant actually does. Centella did not become indispensable because it was gentle. It became indispensable because it healed. Long before modern dermatology, this plant was used to treat wounds, burns, and significantly damaged tissue, not to reduce discomfort temporarily, not to make skin feel better for an hour, but to accelerate recovery, to help skin close, rebuild, and regain structural strength. That history is not incidental. It is the entire reason Centella continues to outperform many modern ingredients when skin is compromised. Here is the distinction that matters. Most calming ingredients reduce the sensation of inflammation. Centella goes further. It actively supports fibroblast activity, collagen organization, and tissue regeneration. In practical terms, it helps skin complete the repair cycle after injury, close the loop, finish what the healing process started. Whether that injury came from an acne breakout, from exfoliation taken too far, from environmental stress, or from an aesthetic procedure, Centella helps the skin get to the other side of it more completely and more predictably. This is why people describe a very specific experience with Centella that they do not describe with other calming ingredients. Their skin does not just feel calmer, it recovers faster. Red marks fade more efficiently. Irritation resolves instead of cycling. Skin feels stronger rather than fragile. Areas that previously seemed stuck begin to move forward again. Now, there is a timing dimension to this that almost nobody explains correctly, and that Dr. Lazuk considers essential to actually getting results from this ingredient. Centella is most valuable when skin is healing, not when it is being pushed. After an acne flare, after exfoliation has gone too far, after in-office treatments, during periods of redness, barrier disruption, or sensitivity. These are the moments when Centella should lead the routine, not share space with retinoids and acids and multiple actives simultaneously. Healing requires priority. When too many competing signals arrive at once, the skin cannot dedicate its resources to repair. It spends them managing input instead. The mistake Dr. Lazuk sees most consistently is people trying to use Centella alongside aggressive routines, hoping it will offset the damage while the aggressive routine continues. It cannot fully do that. When Centella is given actual space, used consistently morning and night while irritants are reduced, skin rebounds more completely, more predictably, and often more quickly than people expect. Consistency is also worth emphasizing specifically because Centella is not a spot treatment. It is not an emergency rescue applied once and expected to transform the situation. Its benefits compound over time. When skin receives repeated signals to repair rather than react, it recalibrates. That is when post-acne marks soften instead of darkening further. That is when redness fades instead of recurring with every minor stress. That is when the barrier becomes resilient enough to tolerate actives again, not because something forced it there, but because healing was finally allowed to complete. This is also why Centella is so relevant to the specific conditions of modern skin. Skin today is not undertreated. If anything, it is overstimulated and chronically underrepaired. Pollution, stress hormones, overuse of exfoliants, frequent procedures, all of these create a pattern of repeated low-grade injury that the repair cycle never fully catches up with. Centella fills that gap, not by suppressing the damage, but by supporting the biology that resolves it. Here is who benefits from this ingredient, and the range is considerably broader than sensitive skin alone. Sensitive and reactive skin benefits because Centella reduces the inflammatory cycling that keeps sensitive skin perpetually on edge. Acne-prone skin benefits because the post-inflammatory marks that linger after breakouts, the red and brown traces that feel worse than the acne itself, fade significantly faster when repair signaling is consistently supported. Aging skin benefits because Centella's fibroblast support and collagen organization translate over time into improved elasticity and a quieter baseline inflammatory tone, which, as this entire series has covered, is one of the most meaningful contributors to how skin ages. And skin that is recovering from any kind of procedure, laser, microneedling, chemical peel, injectables, benefits enormously from Centella in the days and weeks following treatment. Recovery quality determines result quality. Centella improves recovery quality. What makes this ingredient genuinely special, and what explains why it has not been replaced despite centuries of use and an entirely new industry developing around it, is this. It does not promise transformation through force. It restores the skin's ability to heal itself, and the skin's ability to heal itself is the foundation of every visible improvement anyone actually wants. When skin heals well, it behaves well. When it behaves well, everything else works better. Products perform more effectively, treatments last longer, the complexion becomes more predictable, more even, more genuinely alive in the way that no amount of surface correction fully replicates. That is why this ancient ingredient keeps getting rediscovered. Not because it is trendy, but because it is true. Before we close, everything you just heard is purely for entertainment and educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice or a clinical recommendation for your individual skin situation. Centella Asiatica is an ingredient with a strong safety profile. But all skincare decisions should be made in the context of your specific skin history and concerns. Please consult a licensed dermatologist for personalized guidance. Dr. Lazuk's Rehydrating Face Emulsion, featuring Centella Asiatica as its hero ingredient, is available at SkinDoctor.ai. And Dr. Lazuk herself will be back in Alpharetta as soon as the Sri Lanka harvest research concludes and someone reminds her that the clinic exists. May your skin always glow as brightly as your smile.